What's up, Battletech fans? Welcome to Painter's Pit 17. Now, I know that I'm usually behind the camera on these, but I have something just a bit different for you today, so hang on, punch the ticket, and take this ride with me. I was on the Battletech Painting and Customs board the other day when I saw somebody ask the question about what the best cleaner to use was where the stripping of plastic miniatures was concerned. Now, I thought to myself, I've already got a video here on the channel about stripping metal miniatures, but I've never done a plastic one before. And I thought right then and there that this is a golden opportunity for some science, so let's check out the experiment area now.
Alright, here I am back behind the camera, outside this time because these are harsh chemicals after all. So I decided to pour them out here. No risk, no worries. Now, I've used a fast food container to house the turpentine because that's the one that I think is the most likely to mess something up. So if the container's going to get ruined, then it might as well be a disposable one. And we've got our unseen Thunderbolt here. He's all dirty. That catapult had somebody airbrush it, so it looks pretty nice, but that's going inside the LA's totally awesome right there. And then we got the CGL Crusader, which is the one that I'm the most interested in saving, and it's going in the simple green because that's the one that I think is the most likely to save it. And the poll voted that our ruined Irby shall go into the simple green as well. So I've marked them with a green lid there, the blue lid is the totally awesome, and the fast food container there is the turpentine. So in they go. We shall see if I need to add any more. Alright, so they're in there. Looks like I might need to add a little more turpentine here to make sure it's completely covered. Get that on there. That's probably going to be about the last of it, so and the old T-bolt there seems covered. Maybe just a tad more couldn't hurt, right? In the interest of science, we will spare no expense here at Battlebound. And then our Crusader and the Irby seem well covered. And just to do a little investigating, it turns out the turpentine is already doing it to it here. Look at this catapult, it's starting to flake off already. I might even be able to start scrubbing this tonight as opposed to having to wait any longer. It's only been in the bath for a few hours at this point, so I'm going to give it a few more and then come back to it. Alright, since the turpentine worked so fast, I decided to check on the LA's Totally Awesome in the simple green, and well, the awesome looks like dirty water, so uh-oh. Alright. That's been in overnight, so that looks like another maybe 2.5 minutes under the brush, just like the catapult was with the turpentine. So let's check on the simple green. Yeah, that looks like it, starting to come up, but I'm going to give it some more time. I'm still not entirely convinced. Get a close-up view of it there so you can see kind of what's happening inside. I say with another maybe day or so, I'd be willing to check on that. Well, I think it's safe to say I'm not the biggest fan of the simple green. This has been in the bath now for an entire day, 24 hours, and only the top coat of paint wants to come off. The primer under there would take me so much more scrubbing to get even maybe just a little bit of it off. So it's going to have to go back in there maybe for another 24 hours and see if that'll start stripping that off. If that doesn't work, I'm going to throw it in the LA's Totally Awesome. So the Great Scrub Fest reveals that the top coat of contrast paint and shade came off fairly easily, but as you can see, the primer is still stuck to that thing like white on rice. And I thought to myself, I wonder if the other two miniatures came clean so easily because these things were stripping minis that didn't have any primer on them. And I thought, well, that requires another little bit of experimentation, doesn't it? So I found myself a Wolverine that I had primed, and I wasn't exactly going to do anything with it, so I thought, let's toss it in the LA's Totally Awesome overnight and see if that has anything to do with it. My thought here is that I'm just not giving a fair shake to Simple Green, and I don't want to wait 3 weeks to make this video, so I'm going to throw this in there now so I can maybe get an expedited look at the process, or find out whether or not this is something I'm going to have to let sit out here for a while and completely forget about it, like some folks have implied that I may have to do. And I want to get this video out faster than that.
Well, Battletech fans, it's been an interesting experiment so far, and here's what I think. I wanted to give each of these elements a fair shake where stripping of miniatures was concerned, so I picked a bunch of different kinds. I had a couple of different miniatures in there that had paint but no primer, then I had miniatures that had paint and primer, and then one miniature that had a coat of paint and a top coat of primer. So I wanted to try out all of these different kinds of models and see which thing worked the best. Now the Turpentine got the catapult with paint, no primer. Stripped 6, maybe 7 hours. It gets an A, not an A+, and I'll tell you why in just a second. We're going to move on to the LA's Totally Awesome. The LA's Totally Awesome is the home run hitter, in my opinion, of this experiment. It stripped 3 miniatures. I got the Thunderbolt out of it, I got the Wolverine out of it, and then after the Simple Green couldn't do the job on the Crusader, the LA's Totally Awesome finished where that one fell short. So I give the LA's Totally Awesome the A+ treatment in this case. You see, Turpentine only stripped something with paint but no primer. LA's Totally Awesome took care of that automotive primer, which I've heard from some viewers here on the channel can be, quite difficult to get off in some cases. But the LA's Totally Awesome took care of all of that, so I really didn't have to worry about it. In this case, it was a 1-2 punch. The Simple Green took off the stuff on the top, and the LA's Totally Awesome took care of the primer on the undercoat, but I've got to give the Simple Green a C on this. I imagine that it would have worked if I had been willing to delay the production of this video for 3 weeks while I just let it sit in there and not touch it or do anything with it. But honestly, I know that tabletop gamers in general are looking for expediency. So you're not wanting to toss 10 models into a jar and then stop thinking about it for a month and come back to it when the seasons change. Alright, Battletech fans, that's our experiment for this go-around. Our next experiment will have Purple Power versus Mean Green versus a 90% isopropyl alcohol, just so you can see what that does to a miniature. And if you want to see that video when it drops, do us a big favor and hit that subscribe bell down there and turn on all notifications so you can find out exactly where Battlebound's going to turn up next. And remember, folks, Battlebound has a Patreon at patreon.com/Battlebound. Sign up today to enjoy those benefits tomorrow. Thanks once again for watching. I'm Tuckdavian for Battlebound, and we'll see you next time right here on the Space Lanes.
Be sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.